the fact of the matter is nobody in this race has the direct experience of being a student of this generation, right? And I believe that that is something that is absolutely necessary for our district to move forward in a successful way.
Hey Wildcats, welcome to the UAZ Podcast. I'm here with my colleague
Rebecca Irsile.
Today we are welcoming back Tre'Davon Rhodes. He is a first generation student here at the U of A. He is studying political science and economics, and he is an avid community organizer. Trey is currently running for TUSD governing board to bring a fresh perspective to TUSD schools. So thank you, Trey, for coming on the podcast once again. So for our first question is for listeners who may not know you yet, can you please introduce yourself and share what inspired you to run?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you guys so much for having me back. As I mentioned earlier, you guys have been busy, so, I appreciate y'all having me back on. So I'm currently a sophomore here at the U of A, studying political science and economics. I was born and raised here in Tucson. I'm from Tucson, from the east side primarily. I went to schools all over there. Graduated from Sabino in 2024. I've been involved in local community organizing for the past couple of years, trying to engage the community and engage youth in political activity.
So, what inspired you to run? Because I know you studied in one of the TUSD schools, and so what really inspired you? Did you want to create a specific change growing up, studying in the schools, all your high school levels, and now you're a student at the U of A? So did you see anything specifically that you wanted to change, or was there something that really inspired you?
I would say that I always knew that I wanted to get into, some form of public service, whether that was politics or law or something like that. I knew that I wanted to help people. Really what it was I was, considering for a period of time whether or not I was going to, jump into politics and take it seriously as a career and try to, pursue that pathway. And one day my brother and sister had, came from school and, I was doing the usual, hey, how's school, our classes, blah, 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 what you learn. And they were just unloading complaints on me, just like, oh my God, this and that. And, I was laughing and, laughing at some things they said, but some things they were telling me about, I was, thinking to myself like, hey, I remember having that similar thought or having that similar complaint. And I kind of realized like, hey, this would probably be a good pathway to take. I'm somebody that, understands what kind of the students of today's generation are going through. I want to make sure that I can use the experience that I've had, to help my community. And at the same time, I saw the opportunity to be able to help the situation for my brother and sister. I saw, that being on the school board, I had the ability to make sure that they have the opportunities and resources that they need to be successful. And I wanted to make sure that I could do my part to ensure that for them and every student across the district.
Is there a specific issue you want to work on? I know that, when I was in school, teachers would be like, I paid these pencils with my own money. So what are specific issues you want to work on?
For sure, absolutely. I think there, are a host of issues that the district is facing right now. I'd say the three main issues are, enrollment declines, so, students not coming into our district, absenteeism, which is, just students not coming to class or dropping out at a high rate, and then, the whole debacle of finances, right? So maybe it's irresponsible spending or, not having sustainable funding options, or, not prioritizing some spending items. But those are the three main issues that we're facing. I have like a 3-point plan, kind of like the ABCs to district success. And that is, adapting to a new generation of learners. So making sure that we are having, clear AI policy or ensuring that we have systems in which our students feel empowered and feel Like they have the ability to choose their destination as far as their education goes. Building pathways to success, adding on to that, just ensuring that, we have as many opportunities for our students to be successful beyond their time in our district, right? So that's expanding what's called CTE, career and technical education courses. So offering our students apprenticeships, internships, trade certification programs, and then creating stronger learning environments. Which is just making sure that our like you were saying, your teacher didn't have the pencils, making sure that our schools have adequate resources and adequate learning tools. Making sure class sizes aren't too big for teachers so that they're not stressed. Making sure that students have comfortable and safe spaces for them to really express themselves. So those are kind of like my three ABCs to a pathway to a more successful district.
Those are great priorities, and usually an effective change is done when you're part of the team that is making the decision, because if you're outside, then you're just passive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Passive decisions. Like, given that you're running for the board, like, how do you feel being a young student who hasn't even completed your bachelor's degree yet? You're yet to complete it. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel intimidated that you're going to be sitting around people who have got lots and lots of experiences?
No, not at all. Honestly, I welcome it. I'm excited to learn from the individuals who are currently on the board. I've spoken to a lot of them. They've offered me a lot of advice, a lot of insight to the issues that the district is facing. So I'm extremely excited to learn from the people that I'll be serving with, and I'm excited to learn from the community as well. But I think, to what you were saying, it's really important that we have a young person on the board, somebody that can properly represent students and students' needs, somebody who is, has a recent and tangible experience to the environment of the district. So I think it's incredibly important that we have somebody that can, advocate for students and that is younger than the current board members.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're talking about recent intangible experiences, because usually what I see with people who are older, they already have they've gone through some experience, yes. They have number of years working in a specific department, and so when they make decisions, sometimes those decisions have got so many biases.
Yeah.
But for us, the young people, we have those fresh perspective, and
Exactly.
we're not seeing it in a different angle. So there's a way we bring so much important information to the table that will affect and cause different positive changes in our communities. So what do you believe distinguishes you from the other candidates in this race?
I would say, to what you were saying, my perspective and the unique perspective that I can bring. The fact of the matter is nobody in this race has the direct experience of being a student of this generation, right? And I believe that is something that is absolutely necessary for our district to move forward in a successful way. But besides that, I think, some of my opponents, Val Romero is one individual who's a current incumbent, and I'm hoping that I can knock him out. But he has an outdated way of thinking, and we need somebody that has more progressive ideas to take on the mantle and continue to move things forward.
You are so young. You are a sophomore here at the U of A. So what kind of experiences did you have to go through that shaped you into the leader you are now to take on this new role as a TUSD?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's okay.
I think, growing up in a single parent household, my father was in prison for the first 18 years of my life. Growing up somebody who was a free lunch student, facing, we were on food stamps, public housing, the whole nine. That really, I think, allowed me to see things from a different point of view, and then also it allowed me to think differently. Growing up and leading me into today. I think I can see things in a different light because of the experiences that I went through as a young kid. But I think above all else, it really toughened me up and it really improved my work ethic. I've been a grinder. Since I was a young lad, I've been always a very I've always had a very strong work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's something that really, my youth kind of, helped develop.
Yeah, that's great. Especially as a politician, you have to have a good work ethic.
Absolutely, for sure.
So for our next question, is there something about this race or the responsibilities of the board that you think voters may not fully understand?
Yeah, I think one thing that we're seeing right now is concerns surrounding ESA vouchers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think their voters' concerns are within reason, but they're taking their frustration out on the wrong body. I think really at the end of the day, the problem with ESA vouchers, that's a legislative issue. So on the state legislature. But what the school board can do is work closely with the legislature to, reform ESA vouchers, and lobby against them, but also empower students. I think something that I would like to see happen, and something that I would like to lead on my time on the board, is leading lobbying trips, to Phoenix, so that students have the opportunity to talk to legislators and express their concerns and feelings surrounding their public schools, but specifically, surrounding the fact that ESA vouchers are essentially siphoning money from their schools and harming their education. So, we can for sure work with our state legislature in order to aid the issue surrounding ESA vouchers.
I know you mentioned that you always thought you would go into law and political science, but did you ever think that you would run for TUSD one day?
Yeah, dude, honestly, not at all, really. I was thinking about this the other night actually, and I was like, man, this is just, I'm really doing it. I'm really making it happen. It's kind of
Yeah.
surreal, but I'm excited. I'm excited that I have the opportunity to really use some of the struggles or experiences that I went through in life to help somebody so that they can have an easier time traversing that journey. So I'm extremely excited to be taking on this challenge.
So when it comes to voting, a lot of students maybe sometimes they're not aware or
Yeah.
have time to go to vote. Like, how are you guys making the process to ensure that the process is very simpler so that all the young people can be able to vote and just the Tucson community as a whole?
Yeah, dude, fam, you gotta vote, okay? To all the young people listen out there, you have to vote. It is crucial, to be empowered and to have a say in what's going on in your community and in your life.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important that you are active in voting. And listen, this whole voting is hard, it's difficult, it's a lie, okay? It's so easy. You can sign up, you can register to vote on your phone, or the old-fashioned way on paper is easy on your phone. It's like maybe 10 questions, you put in some information, and boom, you don't even have to go to the polls to vote. You can get a mail-in ballot, so it comes straight to your door. You fill it out, send it back. But it's incredibly important that folks start voting. I hope to during the time of this campaign, I hope to engage some of our younger voters, our high school seniors, certainly our college students. But I hope to engage more folks so that we can start having more power as young people.
Yeah, voting is important because once you vote a candidate, then you become so attentive and always curious to ensure that whoever you vote for are up to whatever expectations
100%.
that you wanted them to do. But when you don't vote, you're like, oh, I don't care, I didn't even
100%,
vote. Yeah.
for sure.
But when you vote, you start to care about the policies, you start to care about getting involved, you start to care about so many issues that are affecting your community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one thing that most young people don't realize earlier, but it's when they grow old and have this experience, they're like, oh, it was really good to
what
vote.
happened,
Yeah.
what happened.
So it's good to start right now or find out more information.
Yeah.
So how can the district of Tucson or the city of Tucson support teachers and staff while still keeping students at the center of their everyday decisions?
Absolutely. So, I think in order to have successful students, we have to have successful teachers. We have to have successful staff and faculty in our schools and in our district. I think 100% we have to bring more teachers into our district so that teachers aren't as overwhelmed. We need to, decrease class sizes so that, teachers can focus on the students a little bit better, and aren't as stressed out in the classroom setting. We need to make sure that we're paying our teachers an adequate and a fair amount. We need to make sure that we're supporting their needs, whether it's in the schools or at home, making sure that we're, treating our teachers right. But overall, we need to be listening to our teachers and our staff. I've been canvassing, I've been on the doors, and I've had conversations with so many individuals who work in our district, and I've heard that they aren't feeling heard right now. Whether it's bus drivers or lunch staff. I'm hearing just across the board that we don't feel like we're being heard right now, and I want to make sure that I'm being a voice for those folks, so that we can make sure that our students are successful.
Yeah, that's great. But of course, all these challenges, their solutions comes with a lot of funding and the money. So like, how are you approaching that side when it comes to funding? Because sometimes we have those problems and we have the solutions, but we don't have the resources.
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of like how, maybe not only you specific, but how, like, together with the team members, how are you guys approaching the issues when it comes to funding?
Absolutely. Well, nothing's free in life, and you can't just throw money at problems and expect a magical fix to it, right?
Yep.
I think first and foremost, we have to be budgeting and spending responsibly. We have to make sure that we're prioritizing funding in the right areas. But I think with that, we have to make sure that we're finding new and innovative ways to fund our district, right? We can't be relying on bonds and overrides, forever. That's just not sustainable. I propose that the district looks into using some of the real estate that it isn't currently using and converting that into public housing or affordable housing, I should say, so that we are not only, collecting revenues in the form of rents, but also providing a service to our community and to the city of Tucson. And we all know that there is housing security right now in Tucson, so we want to make sure that we can help our community. And I think it would be a good way to help bring extra dollars in so that we can continue to increase resources for our students and for our teachers.
I think what you talked about funding in the right areas is very crucial, because sometimes we may have the resources, but if we don't know how to budget well and prioritize correctly, it all goes to waste. Because I've had a few friends who wanted to go into teaching, but they were like, they pay so less. I don't want to become a high school teacher. I have the passion, but they were like, Rebecca, I can't be a high school teacher because they'll pay me like maybe 18 something, and that won't be able to support my family and I as well. But I think finding the right way is most important, because no matter what leaders we have, if they can't do well at budgeting, then we lose or waste a lot of the resources that we may have.
Yeah, I've been watching your little reels on
Really?
Instagram and your campaigning. I love how you incorporate social media into your campaign. So how is campaigning? How are you feeling? How is that like?
Man, campaigning is great. Honestly, it's super fun, being able to talk to people at the doors, be able to talk to voters, be able to, I've had, parents reach out to me and, talk to me about their students and about their experience at TUSD. It's been one of the best experiences of my life so far, and I'm hoping that it'll continue to be so. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I've got a great team around me. I've got a lot of support from some of our local elected leaders. I'm feeling strong that, that we'll, or I'm feeling confident that we'll finish strong and that we'll come out victorious next November. Or this November, I should say.
That's great. So for those interested in learning more or helping you in your campaign, what is the best way to connect?
Absolutely. I would say for sure follow us on Instagram at TreForTUSD on all platforms, TREFORTUSD. We've got TikTok. I've been trying to get the TikTok up. We've got Instagram. We've got Facebook. Look at our website, TreForTUSD.com. Reach out to me, say what's up. Let me know about, your experience in the district, how you felt about things. And, I'm always trying to hear from my peers and other people. I'm always trying to learn. So for sure, reach out to me.
Yeah, I remember when you first announced that you were campaigning, I told Rebecca,
Yeah.
and we looked at your website, and it's so organized, and we really enjoyed looking through your website
Thank
and
you,
social
thank you.
media. So yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So who helped you create your website?
Yeah, man, my website.
Yeah.
I had a little help from. I got to shout out my two campaign managers, Ethan and Alexandra, A&E Insights. They're super big supporters of young people getting involved in running for office. So a big shout to them. But really, I hate to toot my horn, but it was mostly me. I had to I grinded it out in like one night, like
Wow.
3 or 4 hours. I just put it all together.
Yeah.
And then I made some like additional touches here and there. But yeah, I just did it in like a night. It was on Squarespace, Shout out to Squarespace.
Yeah, it's so organized and professional. I was like, Rebecca, Trey is running.
Thank you though. Too much. I appreciate it though.
How many hours do you spend like on your campaign?
A week, I would say it varies, maybe 15 to 25. It varies depending on the week. If it's like a stacked week, then it'll probably be closer to like 25. But if it's a lighter week, then it might be like 10, 15.
That's great. We appreciate you running for TUSD. Finally,
Yeah.
we're hoping that we'll have a young person in the board who can bring in fresh perspective
Inshallah.
and ideas that will create change and support other young people as well. And we appreciate you coming back to the UAZ Podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Time.
So young people, if you're out there, please vote. Support Trey.
Please vote, support me.
Yeah.
And all your other, elected officials, please vote, get involved. It's not really about me. It's about just empowering,
community. Yes.
empowering the community for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you.